and this is why my hairstyle looks like that of Bruce Wayne in the meantime. Maybe I should conceal my eye rings with black makeup as well. This time, it's not about concealing my eye rings. In this quick tip tutorial, I'm gonna show you 3 different ways how to conceal and fix terrible looking morph cuts in Premiere Pro. I love jump cuts. They make an edit edgy and interesting. Nowadays, jump cuts are common in vlogs, and a jump cut is a creative and cinematic technique used in a lot of movies. But sometimes jump cuts are not desired, especially in interviews and official speeches when you cut all the There's been a lot of talk recently about bad morph cuts, and this is why I want to share with you 3 approaches how to smooth out jump cuts, and using motion blur is the way to go. The first technique is 100% done in Premiere Pro. I'm gonna show you a simplified version and an elaborate one. In my second technique, we're gonna make a little detour to After Effects to create a more natural motion blur. The third method also creates a natural motion blur with having the luxury to stay in Premiere Pro, but it comes with a downside.
Okay, let's start with technique number 1. Here you can see that after the cut, my head pose is totally different. Let's see how the morph cut interpolates between these 2 states. I'm gonna go to Effects tab and look for the Morph Cut Transition. I'm gonna drag and drop it onto the cut. And while it's analyzing in the background, I'm gonna shorten the Morph Cut Transition to like 3 frames, which I think is the shortest possible, but long enough to get a smooth transition. And after analyzing has finished, I'm gonna render the transition and play it back. My head now seems to turn smoothly instead of changing abruptly. Here is a comparison. So overall, it did quite a good job. But when we look at the transition frame by frame, the interpolated frames look a bit weird. And when we play it back again, we can still notice a subtle artifact, even if only unconsciously. And this is why we're gonna conceal it with a motion blur. So I'm gonna press the new item icon, create a new adjustment layer, and drag it into the video track above the clips. Then I'm gonna look for the transform effect and apply it to the adjustment layer. I'm gonna put the playhead at the transition start and set a scale keyframe. But don't mix it up with a scale attribute in the motion section. Next, I'm gonna put the playhead at the transition end and change the scale value to 125. That sets another keyframe automatically. Now we have a simple and quick zoom in. And this is where the magic happens. I'm gonna crank up the shutter angle to 360, and here we get our motion blur, which smooths out the artifact. Let's render it and hit play.
A crash zoom works effectively to hide bad morph cuts. A crash zoom may not be suitable for interviews,
and that's why I'm gonna adapt the crash zoom technique a bit. Works almost the same. First, I'm gonna cut the adjustment layer and the clips at the beginning and at the end of the morph cut. Then I'm gonna leave the adjustment layer above the morph cut transition and delete the rest of it. Next, I'm gonna delete the existing scale keyframes and change the value back to 100. I'm gonna position the playhead at morph cut start, set a keyframe, go to morph cut end, and increase the X position to 1060. As you can see, the motion blur is still there, but follows the movement of my head. Because we just want the motion blur, but not the position animation, we have to counteract the movement. So I'm gonna duplicate the adjustment layer, change the shutter angle of the bottom adjustment layer back to 0, delete the existing position keyframes, and set an anchor point keyframe at the beginning of the morph cut instead. Same procedure at the end of the morph cut. I'm gonna increase the X anchor point to 1060 as well. Looks good, but there is a little position offset which has to be compensated. So I'm gonna duplicate the adjustment layer again, delete the existing position keyframes on the top adjustment layer, put the shutter angle back to 0 again, and increase the anchor point to like 975. That looks neat. The last thing I'm gonna do is to limit the motion blur to my head. That's why I'm gonna copy these 2 clips, move up all adjustment layers by 1 track, paste the clips below the adjustment layers, and nest all of them. At the beginning of the nested sequence, I'm gonna create a mask around my head. Then I'm gonna set a mask path keyframe go to the end of the nested clip and adjust the path to create an animated mask. To see the effect, we're gonna have to render it. We can fine-tune the mask by adjusting the mask feather and the mask expansion. Now we have a convincing motion blur without any additional movement. The cool thing is, it's done 100% in Premiere Pro, but it just works with predictable movements. So let's find another method.
And this is where After Effects comes into play. And I guess when you already use Premiere Pro, you have the Adobe Creative Cloud anyway, with access to After Effects. Technique number 2.
With just the Morph Cut left over, every effect we applied before toggled off, I'm gonna position the playhead at the cut, click somewhere in an empty track to deselect the clips, go to the markers and select Add Marker. This creates a marker at the cut. Then I'm gonna save the project and open up After Effects. I'm gonna press Ctrl-I to import the Premiere Pro project file, select the sequence and hit OK. I'm gonna grab the sequence and drop it onto the Create a New Composition icon to nest it in a new composition. I'm gonna snap the playhead to the marker we created in Premiere Pro and which indicates where the cut takes place. Then I'm gonna create a new adjustment layer, go to Effect, Time, and apply a pixel motion blur effect. Here you can see that the blur only applies to my face. This is because the plugin motion tracks all the pixels and blurs the footage based on where and how fast the pixels move. Naturally, pixels that don't move won't get any motion blur. I'm gonna crank up the shutter angle to 360 to make the weirdness in my face unrecognizable. At this point, I'm gonna set a shutter angle keyframe. Let's make the keyframe visible by pressing U. Next, I'm gonna put the playhead some frames before the cut and change the shutter angle to 0, which creates another keyframe automatically. Then I'm gonna position the playhead some frames after the marker and set the shutter angle to 0 again. By animating the shutter angle, we let the motion blur appear just when my head turns. And when we scrub through the frames, we can see a motion blur that corresponds to my head's movement, which looks more natural. Of course, it's sometimes cumbersome to open After Effects every time you need a motion blur. But the good thing about it is, we don't need to animate any movement just to create motion blur.
Still, there is another method to create natural motion blur, and we don't even need to leave Premiere Pro. But there is a big catch.
You need a third-party plugin, which is not for free. It's called Reelsmart Motion Blur, RSMB. It's like the pixel motion blur effect, but even more powerful, especially on complex footage. In this simple example, it doesn't make any noticeable difference. Apply it to the adjustment layer, but make sure that the transform effect is still toggled off. And you can already see a slight motion blur. And because I want to conceal how strange I look in this frame, I'm gonna increase the blur amount to, let's say, 2. Similar to our second technique before, I'm gonna animate the blur amount so that the effect is limited to my head turn. Let's render it and hit play. I think it looks even better than the pixel motion blur effect, but you just notice it when you look at it frame by frame. Now, let's compare the results of the 3 techniques side by side. The first technique is 100% done in Premiere Pro, but it's limited to certain movements in the footage. The motion blur in technique number 2 is more natural, but you have to use After Effects. In technique number 3, you get more or less the same result like in technique number 2, but you have to acquire an additional motion blur plugin. And that's basically it.
I hope you found my tutorial helpful. If so, please like my video, subscribe my channel, and turn on the bell to get notified of more tutorials. See you next time. And a jump cut is a creative and cinematic technique. And a jump cut is a cinematic creative technique to